Okay. Beta. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. What's it up, baby? Y'all already know it is the big boss out. Boss dog can't poke through the door to talk to us about the fucking Barcelona. Remember, toes don't last. Good people do not for self. Caught him if I like made me mad. Peak game, and the folks on what? Swing. Your boy just came from the gym, and then I went to the store. I got cooked dinner for my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm an all-around husband. You know what I'm saying? I cook, I work 7 days a week. I get to it, and I go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, boys ain't making no excuses. I don't believe in excuses in life. You got to make time for everything. And I read my Bible, you know what I'm saying? And I have my prayer time with the Lord. You know what I'm talking about? So boys really be out here working, man. We really be out here getting to it, doing our damn thing. God forgive me. But let's talk boxing. So I had a brother comment on my last video I made about Gervonta Tank Davis. And I was talking about in the video, I think Gervonta Tank Davis was talking about, you know, how all these fighters are getting paid to go sign with Turkey. Well, one of the brothers, you know, he respectfully disagreed with me. And look, I ain't got no problem. If you disagree with me, just do it respectfully. You know what I'm saying? And this brother did it 1,000% respectfully. You know, he wasn't like talking crazy. He was just like, look, how are these fighters, you know, frowned upon when, you know, they going over there and they fighting? You know what I mean? They promoting boxing. So he said, I respectfully disagree with you on that one. And I appreciate that. But let me articulate myself. The reason why I talk about that is this. You got fighters like Terrence Crawford who fight one time a year. So how is he promoting boxing? He fighting one time a year. He's still doing the same thing. I get it if he go over there and he fighting more. But he's doing the same thing. Shakur Stevenson go over there. He had one fight. He got one fight. He hasn't fought as of yet because he's coming off an injury. But he got one fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just keeping it 1,000, bro. Like, you know, Canelo going over there, you know, He signed up for 2 fights. He's supposed to have William Skull and then Terrence Crawford, right? Which is he doing what he normally do. All I'm saying is they're going over there, but they're not fighting more fights. And they're not fighting the fights we want to see. That's what I'm saying. You got what I mean? Now, there are like a handful of fights that I can sit here and say we want to see. We wanted to see Tyson Fury versus Usyk. We wanted to see Bivol versus Beterbiev. We wanted to see that. You know what I mean? Those are fights you want to see. Those are fights when you look at them, you're like, okay, I want to see that particular fight. But you don't want to see Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank. You don't want to see Ryan Garcia against Rolly. You don't want to see Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, right? Now, the brother corrected me. He said, hey, man, Jose Ramirez is 33. He's not 40. Okay? So I got the age wrong. So, you know, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like I say, he didn't do it disrespectfully. He didn't say, like, oh, he was like, Ryan, Jose Ramirez is 33. He's not 40. But my thing is, with that particular fight, why are they having to fight them? That's what I'm saying. What is the purpose of those fights? When Devin and Ryan can just fight each other. They've been out the same amount of time. I get it if Devin fought before Ryan. He came back, had a tune-up, you know, or had 2 or 3 fights before Ryan while Ryan was suspended. Then I'll be like, okay, yeah, I understand, right? But they both been at the ring the same amount of time. So why don't you just make them fight each other? Right? Making fights that matter. Making matchups that make sense. That's what I'm talking about. They're not doing that over there. Right? It's not like fighters are fighting more over there. You get what I mean? Boots went over there, and you can sit there and say he's fought the same amount of times he fought from when he was fighting on Showtime. You get what I mean? So all I'm saying is like there hasn't been an increase in the fights. You know what I mean? Like, it's been pretty much the same. You know what I'm saying? It's been pretty much the same. They going over there, yeah, in hindsight, you looking at it, they promoting boxing. But they're promoting fights that don't matter in the sport of boxing. All of y'all get on PBC and you know, saying, hey man, fighters are not active on PBC. When they going over there and they not more active. They going to all these award shows, they doing this and doing that over there. They getting paid to go to these award shows. That's what I'm saying. They're selling their soul for $1. They're fighting in meaningless matchups. Right? Now, most people going to talk about, oh, PBC was going to have Canelo fight Jake Paul. They was finna have Canelo fight Jake Paul. But Canelo do what he want. It wasn't like Al Heyman said, hey man, look, we want you to fight Jake Paul. No. Canelo and his team looked at fighting Jake Paul. Why? Because they know that was going to make them a lot of money. Do I agree with that fight? No, I don't. But when I'm talking about matchups and I'm talking about styles of fights, these are pointless fights. You see what I'm saying? That are being made. Devin Haney shouldn't be fighting Jose Ramirez. Well, how is that going to help him prepare for Ryan Garcia, a power puncher? If you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm talking about. If you're going to have them do a tune-up, which I don't think they need a tune-up. I think they should have just went straight into the rematch. But if you're going to have them do a tune-up, wouldn't you put him in there with somebody who fight like Ryan Garcia or who got power, who got some type of attribute like Ryan Garcia? Rolly and Ryan. What's the point of that matchup? Wouldn't you put them in there with somebody who has an attribute like Devin Haney? So wouldn't you put Ryan in there with some type of slick fighter? That's all I'm saying, bro. You know what I mean? You don't have to. Let's just entertain it and say, hey, they wanna tune up for both of them. Put them in there with fighters that's gonna prepare them for their fight. That makes sense. How's Rolly preparing him? How's Rolly preparing Ryan for Devin? How's Jose Ramirez preparing Devin Haney for Ryan? This is stuff I be talking about. When you look at matchups like Top Rank, if Top Rank know, or let's just say hypothetically, let's say Top Rank like, you know what, Keyshawn Davis is going to fight Lomachenko in the fall, right? So fighting a Dennis Baranchuk, although the dude is trash, that might be beneficial for Keyshawn. Because a lot of the Ukrainian fighters have a certain characteristic alike. You get what I mean? So that might be a good matchup for Keyshawn to prepare for a Lomachenko in the fall in the unification. You get what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Or in the summer. That's what I'm saying. Baranchuk will not help Keyshawn Davis fight and prepare for Gervonta Tank Davis. You're going to need to put Keyshawn in there with a puncher that got attributes. You know what I'm saying? Just like Terrence Crawford. Okay? Terrence Crawford, before he fought Errol, he fought David Evanesian. Now, granted, David Evanesian is trash. But he has a certain attribute, right, that Errol may have. You get what I mean? So the purpose of that particular fight, or him taking that fight, is to prepare him for Errol Spence. That's why he took that tune-up before he fought Errol. Right? Now, granted, there was a long layoff after that, but he took that particular fight to help him prepare for Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You want to take fights that prepare you for your opponent. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here saying Errol Spence, David Evanesian. I'm not sitting here saying that, Devin Haney is Rolly, and that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you want to take a matchup. If you're going to do a tune-up and you're the matchmaker, you want to prepare your fighters for that particular style. That's all I'm saying. And Turkis Alalshikh don't do that. Okay? Y'all are looking at it from a surface level, from a fan's perspective. I'm looking at it from a boxer's perspective. As a former fighter myself, was not a pro fighter. I was an amateur fighter. Didn't have a lot of amis. But one thing I can say is that I know about matchmaking. You know what I'm saying? I know what style can help a fighter. Right? This dude is basically, he got money and he like, you fight him. And then you gonna fight him. It's like, well, how is this fight preparing you for this fight? You get what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense, bro. And that's what I'm talking about when it pertains to Tank. Tank is basically saying the same thing I'm saying. He's saying, look, this dude got money. He coming into boxing. He just throwing money around, and fighters are flocking over there because they want to get paid. Look what Canelo just did. Canelo is so-called the face of boxing. Sold his soul, ran over to the Turkis Alalshikh, finna fight William Skull for a pointless fight. You already been undisputed before. Why you want to become undisputed again? You could have kept your undisputed crown by fighting him, because William Skull was Canelo's mandatory. But Canelo said, I don't want to fight him. I do what I want. And he dropped the belt. So then William Skull got an opportunity. I think he either got elevated or he fought for that belt and won it. So all I'm saying at the end of the day is it's a lot of pointless stuff going on over there. I'm not saying it's all bad, but it ain't all good either. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of pointless things going on over there with Turkis Alalshikh. Also announcing fights too early. Prime example. You got Sergey Boachuk, who was supposed to fight Israel Madrimov. You announcing these fights early. So fight fans, if I'm a fight fan, let's say, of course, they having that fight in Saudi Arabia, right? They were gonna have it in Saudi Arabia, excuse me. But let's just say they was having it in Vegas. And I want to see that fight. So I buy my tickets just for that fight. And then boom, one of them pull out the fight. Because you announcing the fight early. No. It should be a situation. It's different if you just pop up out the blue and be like, hey, these dudes finna fight. They fight May. It's February. It's finna be March. So let's just say, hey, April 31st, April 30th, you know, this fighter versus this fighter. Okay, cool. You know, and they have the press conference and everything. But if you announcing fights that you finna have in May, in December, bro, like, or you like, hey, we talking to so-and-so, we gonna, no, like, bro, that's not how you do stuff. That's what I'm saying, bro. Boxing, this is why MMA kills boxing. I'm telling you this. This is why MMA kills boxing. Because boxing is a sport full of casual fans. And a lot of casual fans don't know nothing about boxing. They have their favorite fighters that they like, and they gonna ride for their favorite fighters that they like. This is why I like back in the days. Because back in the days, people loved boxing. Boxing was such a tight-knit community, bro. Like, you couldn't say no outlandish stuff in boxing back in the day. You might get slapped. You know what I'm saying? Now, people just be saying what they want. Oh, I want to see, you know, Jake Paul versus Tyson Fury. It's like, bro, why? But it's because we've allowed the casual fan to populate the sport and have a voice. That's the disgusting and sad part in boxing. They come into the sport, right? And a lot of people are not real. A lot of people want to sit here and come on here and comment and talk down on Tank and talk down on this person, but they favorite fighters, they make exceptions for. I don't make exception for nobody. You get no pass, like 4 Extra say, off the bat. You ain't getting no pass with me. Whether your name Javante Tank Davis, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson, you get no pass from me. I want to see you fight each other. I want to see Shakur fight Tank. I want to see Shakur fight Keyshawn Davis. I want to see Tank fight both of them. I want to see Abdullah Mason fight all 3 of them. That's what I want as a fan. So when I'm sitting here and I'm cooking like I'm doing right now, it's because I want to see the best fights. As a fan of boxing, I don't have a favorite fighter. I don't ride with favorite fighters, but I don't allow people to put jackets on certain fighters that don't fit them. You can't sit here when you talk about Tank. I've sat here and said Tank ain't fought the fights that we wanted to see. I've sat here and said Tank, how he moved, I don't always agree with it. But one thing I acknowledge is this man has made an attempt to try to fight the best fighters, and they don't want to fight him. So how's that his fault? That's what I'm saying. How's that his fault? Then another thing, he the only one that got to go up weight classes and stuff. Why these other dudes can't go up weight classes? Keyshawn said he can go to welterweight, so which means he can make 140. So which means he can go up and fight Teofimo Lopez. That's a fight I want to see. Shakur Stevenson, same thing. He could go up and fight Devin Haney. What are we talking about? Why is Tank the only fighter that got to go up different weight classes? These other dudes can do the same thing. So Boss going to be on y'all head about that. I'm going to be sitting there speaking for true boxing heads. And I'm going to sit here, ain't nobody getting a pass. I don't care who it is. Shakur Stevenson do all this talking and then don't fulfill the end of the bargain. I don't hear nobody. I don't hear no Bud Buddy, right? Rick Moon, I don't hear you saying nothing about Shakur. Dark Kent, I don't hear you saying nothing about Shakur. Jay Will, I don't hear you saying nothing about Shakur or Keyshawn. They do all this talking, but then don't fulfill the end of the bargain. Well, I'll take that back. Keyshawn do that. Until it comes to Andy Cruz. Until it comes down to Shakur. Them the two dudes, he just actively just, No, I want to see you fight the best fights. And that's just what it is. Boss gonna continue to stay on y'all head about that. Boss gone.